Hello everybody, welcome back to Read and Reread. I am Angelia. Happy July! It's time for the July TBR. And yep, once again I have an absurdly large pile of possibilities. Mountains of maybes, an enormous consideration list, whatever you want to call it. I've got too much of it. And this time it snuck up on me. Now I know I have some sort of excuse every single month, but this time it just kind of gradually accumulated. This idea and that book group and this discussion, and somebody made me sign up to be a booktube judge, and it just eventually all of a sudden there's like thousands of books sitting here with me once again. And I don't want to dislodge the pile because it would probably crush me. So, but let's just take a look, and keeping in mind that of course this is a voluntary free choice activity that I love to do, so nobody's making me read any of these, so I'm actually very excited about it. So it's a happy problem. But let's just go through all of these things that I want to read, and of course some of them are going to roll over into August. And I'm saying now that August I'm not signing up for anything. I'm keeping August free for all the mood reading that I want to do, and we can play that back later and hold me accountable for the mighty lie that probably is, but I'm saying that now, and that's my intention. So, but we're not in August yet, we're in July, so let's see what we have. Well, first and foremost, it is Jane Austen July, and I love Jane Austen. I kind of keep her on a rolling schedule all year long, and I read something by Jane Austen a couple times a year at least. And so Jane Austen July, of course, I can't let that go by without participating. I will include one of the announcement videos from one of the hosts. I know Spinster's Library is a host, and there might be some co-hosts, but I will put something in the notes where you can look at the original announcement and this year's prompts and categories. I'm not really going to follow that because I've got so much else on the docket here, but I will show you what I plan to read, and then some things that I have that would fit into some of the adjacent prompts, but I may or may not actually get to them. But I do have some things that I would like to read that fit in. I just don't know if I'm really want to go all in and have a big Jane-a-thon right now, or just enjoy the occasion by reading one of her books. So I'm going to use my big collected volume to read Northanger Abbey. This is one that I have only read once or twice, so it really is due for a reread. And it has one of my favorite Jane Austen men in it, Henry Tilney. I'm not the greatest fan of Catherine. I don't dislike her, but she just isn't particularly memorable to me. So we'll see if I get more out of her this time around. But I really love Henry Tilney in Northanger Abbey. So that's the one I'm going to read. I've been gradually trying to accumulate the Penguin Clothbound Classics of Jane Austen, but I don't have that one yet. So I will pull out my old trusty collected volume to read Northanger Abbey. So that's the one I'm going to definitely do. That might be as far as it goes, but let me show you a few other items for your consideration and for my consideration. So I think one of the prompts, and I am just completely paraphrasing here, one of the prompts is about reading something else, something from the time period, and I don't think I have something exactly for that, but I have something that was an influence on Jane Austen, and that is the author Fanny Burney. This is that one. This is Evelina. The subtitle is "Or the History of a Young Lady's Entrance into the World." This was the stinky book, the one that came from thrift books, smelling of cigars, and an actual card from a cigar store fell out of the book, and it's better. I did a hack that didn't really work, where I sealed it up in a bag with some dryer sheets, and that actually made it worse. Then it smelled like cigars and dryer sheets, like Mountain Fresh cigars, and that was worse. So then I put it outside on a sunny day for a while, and that kind of helped. And I guess just time and being in a not in the cigar shop anymore, or wherever it came from, but it's not too bad. So that is one I do want to read. Will I get to it this month? Not sure. Interested in reading an author that Jane Austen was a fan of, who came a little bit before her and might have influenced her writing or her point of view or her decision to become an author. This is a story about a young girl coming of age in London. She has vulgar relatives. She's smart but naive. Sounds like some people we could point out in Jane Austen novels, so I do want to read it. Also, I have this juvenilia collection called Love and Friendship and Other Youthful Writings. Last year I read Lady Susan during Jane Austen July out of this volume. I love Lady Susan and I highly recommend it if you've never read it. But I think I'll try to read at least something else. There's a lot of short pieces and I think some of her letters, or maybe, I don't know. So something or other from this book would be fun to go along with my Jane Austen reading. And I also, one of the other categories is, the one about retellings or inspired by. And every time I try to read one of these, I don't like it, but I do have one on hand that I have not read, which is Longbourn by Joe Baker. I know that I shared this when I hauled it. I think I picked it up at Half Price Books, and it suckered me in, even though this never works. It sounded pretty good. It's a decent author. I like the cover. I don't know. Is it good? Has anybody read it? Did I ask this before? I don't know. But I have it. There is very slim chances I'm going to have time to read it in this actual month, but I keep hanging on to it in hopes that I will get around to it. All right, so that's the extent of my plans for Jane. I have a few other things that I need to read in this month because of different discussion groups or other time-sensitive things that I'm participating in. So I have 2 more books to read for the Booktube Prize, and I started this one yesterday or today, Horse, Geraldine Brooks. So I cannot talk about it per the rules of the Booktube Prize. You can tell me what you think because you are not bound by the rules of the Booktube Prize. I will keep reading and see what I think when I get through the whole story. Also, the E.M. Forster read-along is continuing, and this month is Howard's End. I'm really excited about this one because I think I've only ever read that book once, many, many years ago the first time around when I discovered E.M. Forster, and it was probably around the time that the movies were coming out too. That might have brought it to my attention. And I know I've seen the movie and I've read the book, but I don't remember a whole lot, except I know there's a couple of sisters and a man. That's all I remember in Helena Bonham Carter. That's the extent of my memory about any of this. Emma Thompson, maybe? Anyway, this isn't about the movie. It's about reading the book, and I'm going to read the book, and I am excited, and I want to start it as soon as I can. Another one that I shared in my recent haul is A Known World by Edward P. Jones, which I did read a long time ago when it was a new book. Really, really liked it, but I did not have my own copy, and I picked this up recently in a library book sale. And then I found out that this is the July book for the Blind Eye Book Club. That is hosted by Kim of Middle of the Book March, and she commented on my haul and said, oh, that's what we're reading in July. And so all of a sudden I'm moving it up the list because I want to participate. I have screwed up month after month of participating in that group, and I wanted to do the shipping news last month, but it just completely escaped from me and I just didn't. So I'm going to try harder this month since I have it now. I mean, it must be, it's serendipity that I have found the book at the right time, and then now is the discussion. So I'm going to try to hit it right this time with the Known World, and I will include a link to Kim's announcement about the Blind Eye Book Club in the notes in case you are also interested. And then also the Banned Book Club at the library. I have been a very fair weather friend in this book club. I think I hit it about 50% of the time. Last month was Slaughterhouse-Five. I accidentally checked out the graphic novel, but then it looked like a pretty cool graphic novel. So I started to read it, and then I just didn't like it. So I bailed on the book and I didn't go to the meeting. But this month they're doing 1984. I have this ancient copy from high school, but Stephen has this nice one because I gave it to him for his birthday. He wanted some nice collection of Orwell, and so I got him 2 of the books in the Everyman's Library. This one and another one that has several novels collected. So I'm trying to convince him that we should both read it and attend the meetings. We have both gone before, but he usually doesn't. But since we have 2 copies in the house, I think we should both do a little couples read of 1984. And that also might motivate me to not let it get past me and miss out again. All right, but wait, there's more. The next several books in the stack are little personal projects of mine that are ongoing. And, you know, I've been reading the last 3 books by Emily St. John Mandel close together so I could enjoy some of the overlaps and recurring characters and themes. So I'm on the 3rd one now. I did Station 11, The Glass Hotel, so now it's time to read Sea of Tranquility. Every time I finish a book for the past couple weeks, I almost picked this one up, and then there's some reason that I read a different one instead, but I am dying to get the Sea of Tranquility. Also, I want to reread Harlem Shuffle because Crook Manifesto, the sequel, is coming out on July 18th, and I am really excited, and I'm planning to buy it right away when it comes out. I didn't pre-order it. I think I'll either order it or just pick it up when it comes. But I want to read this again first and remember all the details. And I've always wanted to reread it anyway, but now I really want to reread it. I've got my side books. So right now I'm reading King Lear. I need to finish reading King Lear, and then I'm going to start reading The Facemaker on the side. Chapter by chapter. It's divided pretty well into pretty short chapters about this reconstructive surgeon after World War I. And, you know, I think I've been amiss. I haven't really explained what any of these books are about. Now I'm going to redo the whole video and give a long synopsis of each novel. No, not really. But I guess if I actually read them, I'll talk about all that then. But wait, there's still more. Now we have what we call the, here's the New York trilogy. 3 books that have to do with New York at different points in time that I think would be fun to read. They all seem like good summer reads. So we have Edith Wharton's Summer, which is the one that says, she described it as the hot Ethan, a sultry companion to the chilly landscapes of Ethan Frome. We have Brooklyn by Colm Toibin. Okay, I'm still working on this. Colm Toibin. Set in the 1950s about an Irish girl who moves to New York. And Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson, contemporary story, also set in New York about rich people. But wait, guess what? You're right, there's more. I have a few odds and ends. I'm experiencing a severe case of FOMO. Boulder finally got here, and I've heard about it about 75 times, and it's very short, so I have to fit it in. Maybe I will take it. I have a trip coming up later this month, so maybe this will be a little side book that I take along with me on my trip. And I got a couple of books at the library. I got Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austen, because this one's booktube made me do it, because Sean, the book maniac, made it sound so good. So thank you, Sean. And I happened to be strolling through and I saw it on the shelf and I had to bring it home. And then in the new releases, I saw a book that I've heard several people talking about, which is This Other Eden by Paul Harding. I've heard it, I've seen it in a couple of people's Booker list, long list predictions as a possible thing that might pop up on the list. And then it just sounded really good as well. So I'm not going to go into any more details about all of these books. And I still have a whole bunch of other things on my cart that I want to read. And there are probably a good 20 books that the library has listed as in processing that I'm really excited to get my hands on. So this whole plan could just be upended at any moment by my mad excitement if I find any of those at the library. But I think this is enough to keep me busy, keep me off the streets, in a chair with a glass of iced tea, reading for the month of July. So I think we're going to stop there. It's probably a good thing that I didn't go into a giant description of each of these books, and I will talk about them more as I work my way through the month. But please let me know what you think about my choices. Any of these that you've read or that you want to read or that you liked, you didn't like, or the ones that you are most excited to read. What themes are you going to participate in July? But that's it for now. So let me know what's up, and I will be back soon. I have a tag video planned for Tuesday. That'll be the next one. See you then. Bye.